What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope everybody's having a great day. As you can see, we're out here in the garage once again, bringing you guys another video on my 2024 turbocharged Road Glide. Yes, the fighter pilot behind me, the F-22 Raptor is what I called it. If you guys have been following the build over the last couple months before Daytona Bike Week, I built this bike in like 40 days and unveiled it in Daytona for Bike Week. And I have absolutely no complaints with the bike. I've done a lot of modifications to it, as some of you may know, but there's one thing I haven't done yet that I really have been wanting to do, and that is install some aftermarket suspension on the bike. So in today's video, we're gonna be installing some QS3 remote resi shocks on my 2024 Road Glide today. I'm gonna bring you guys along with me every step of the way and show you guys how to install these yourself in your garage so you don't have to take it to a shop or a dealer and pay those crazy labor prices. So let's get started. All right, guys, so over here we have the rear QS3 remote resi shocks. As you can see, the remote reservoirs are hanging off the shocks here, and these are gonna look killer hanging off the back of the Road Glide, guys. Then you have your brackets. These are billet aluminum brackets in black. I cannot wait to get these on the bike and take it for a ride and let you guys know how much better of a ride it is than the factory suspension that comes on the 2024 and up models. So the first thing we're gonna do is remove the saddlebags, put them off to the side. So before you get started, you want to make sure you have your bike jacked up like so, and also put some wood or something underneath your rear tire so that basically when you undo your rear shock bolts, your swing arm stays aligned with where they're at right now, so that in theory, you won't have to lift up on the rear swing arm with the rear wheel to line your holes back up. It should line right up. Now, being that I'm going from a 13-inch shock to a 12-inch shock, I'm probably gonna have to jack up my rear wheel in order to get the rear shock bolt to line up. So let's go ahead and try it together here on camera and see what happens. Your rear shock bolts are 3/4 inch bolts, so we're gonna use a 3/4 inch socket and a ratchet to take the rear shocks off. All right, guys, so we're ready to put on our new rear QS3 remote resi shocks from Fox. You're gonna go ahead and use your stock rear shock bolt. Make sure that the washer is on the outside, just like that. You're gonna put it through the top shock hole, and then you're gonna use a supplied spacer that they give you in the kit to put on the inside. And then make sure you use some Loctite on the threads. And then go ahead and bolt the top first, just like that. And also make sure that you don't scratch this, because this is going to be hanging for a minute. I'd maybe put a microfiber around your remote resi so that it doesn't get scratched up banging on your frame rail here. And as you guys can see, since I got the 12-inch shocks, that we're about an inch short on the hole, so I'm going to have to let the jack down to bring the rear swing arm up so that the holes will line up. So then we'll be able to get the bottom shock bolt in. But as you can see, we're off about an inch, and that makes sense because these are an inch shorter than the factory shocks. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and take the left shock off now. All right, guys, so I just wanted to give you guys a side-by-side comparison between the 12-inch Fox shock and the 13-inch factory shock. As you can see, the factory shock is about 1 inch longer, and hopefully that will allow me to touch a little bit better when I come up to stoplights and maneuvering in parking lots as well. So I'm excited to get those on and try them out. All right, so we got the left shock on now. We're getting ready to lower the bike on the jack because as you can see, the hole is about an inch too low. So we're gonna have to let the jack down a little bit, and what it'll do is bring the rear swing arm up and hopefully line the bolt in. So we got John over here. He's gonna help me out. When I lower the bike down, he's gonna put the bottom shock bolt in, and we gotta throw some Loctite on it, and then we'll be good to go. So let's go ahead and do that now. All right guys, we got both rear shocks mounted up, no issues at all. As you saw in the video, we just let the jack down, swing arm came up. If you get the 13-inch shocks though, you won't have to do all that because the factory shocks are 13 inches, so you won't have to raise the swing arm at all. Now, if you go with the 14-inch shocks, you're gonna have to jack the jack up to basically bring the swing arm lower so that you can get your bottom shock bolt in. But as you can see, the QS3s look great on there. Now we're gonna go ahead and get the reservoir mounts mounted up. And then once that's up, they're gonna be sitting just like this and it's gonna be done. So, all right guys, so the next step is to mount these reservoirs right about here. In order to do that, you have to mount the reservoir brackets first. So you're gonna have to remove this rear T45 fender bolt here, and also this one here, which is a T40. So you have a T45 and a T40. You're gonna wanna go ahead and remove those, and then they provide you with this spacer. This spacer is gonna go in here just like that. And then this bracket is going to mount right there, and then we'll be able to mount the reservoirs to that. So I'll pick the camera back up once I have the brackets mounted. All right, so now that those two factory bolts are removed, we're gonna take our reservoir bracket here for the right side. So they supply you with these 4 3/16 bolts here. They already have Loctite on them. So you're gonna take your bracket, you're gonna put the bolt through just like that, and then you're gonna put your spacer. They give you 2 spacers. The spacer goes in the rear, and then you're gonna take your bracket and put it up to the bike right here, and use a 3/16 Allen. You see the spacer goes in the hole there, and then use your 3/16 Allen there to tighten it. So the back side of this reservoir bracket is gonna touch the gloss black paint on your frame rail here. So I'm gonna take a piece of clear bra and basically put clear bra over that so that it doesn't rub the paint raw, because once that's on there, it's gonna be like that and it's gonna touch and rub. So I don't wanna have rub marks in there, even though I probably won't ever take these reservoir shocks off, but just in case, I'm gonna go ahead and put a piece of clear bra on there to protect the gloss black. All right guys, so before you mount your reservoir brackets to the bike, you have to mount this reservoir clamp, if you will, basically the clamp that holds the reservoirs on the bracket. You have to mount that on the bracket first because you will not be able to get to this Allen bolt once this bracket is on the bike. Yes, I learned the hard way. I put it all on, got it all torqued down, and realized that I cannot get an Allen wrench in here because it does hit the fender right there when you're trying to tie it down. So make sure you guys mount these clamps on the bracket first before installing the bracket on the bike. And these here are a 5/16 Allen bolt, and they already come Loctited as well. And now you're able to mount the bracket to the bike. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now, and I'll show you guys what it looks like when we're done, but we're never done. So I just wanted to point something else out because it really wasn't in the directions. Make sure you put the reservoir in the loop here before mounting the bracket to the bike, because once you mount the bracket to the bike, you cannot get the reservoir back far enough to get it in the clamp. So you have to put the reservoir in first, and then now you're ready to mount the bracket to the bike. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now. And just like that, we got our right side remote resi mounted up on the Road Glide. What do you guys think? Comment down below, let me know your thoughts on how that looks. I'm really curious to see how the backrest and tour pack mount up with that reservoir there. Supposedly it does not hit, so I'm curious to see how that's going to turn out once we get that mounted up after the install is complete. But yeah, I really like the gray Fox logo. They sent me a blue Fox label as well, but it's not the same blue as my wheels, so I feel like the silver is going to look better on this bike. So we're going to keep it silver and gray for now. We're going to go ahead and get the left side on now. As you can see, I jumped the gun earlier and mounted the bracket before mounting the reservoir. I guess you call it ring or whatever you want to call that. So I have to take this back off, put that back on, mount the resi in there, and then do it all over again. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that on, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like once it's complete. Both reservoirs mounted up. What do you guys think? Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on the new QS3 shocks from Fox, mounted up on the 2024 Road Glide. What do you guys think? I want to know your thoughts in the comments below. As you know, I do run Öhlins on Gold Digger, front and rear Öhlins. I got the remote resis on there as well. So I'm curious to see how the Fox shocks stack up to the Öhlins on my 19 Road Glide. I'll be making a part 2 of this video and actually giving you guys my honest thoughts and opinions on the Fox suspension, front and rear. So that's going to do it for the rear. We got the shocks mounted up, got the reservoirs mounted up, so the rear is now complete. There's a good look at what it looks like from behind. Supposedly you're still able to use your docking hardware, so I'm going to try that as well later in the video. Make sure that the backrest and tour pack still mount onto the docking hardware. But as you can see, it's a really nice product from Fox. I really like the way the reservoirs mount up. A little bit different from the Öhlins. The Öhlins kind of hang off the back of the bike, as you can see here, where the Fox kind of like sit up and kind of tuck in nice in between your fender and your docking hardware there. So now that the back's done, I'm gonna go ahead and bring the bike off the jack and see if that 1-inch shorter shock will help me touch a little bit better and have more of a flat foot on the ground instead of like tippy toe when I come to a stop or maneuvering in the garage or at a parking lot. So I'm curious to see how that feels as well. So as you guys can see, I'm pretty much flat footed now with the 12-inch QS3 Fox shocks on the bike. Definitely like that I'm more planted on the ground. Before I was like tippy toe, which I've been riding Gold Digger like that for the last 5 years and I haven't had any issues. I just definitely like to be more planted when maneuvering this heavy pig in and out of the garage and parking spaces and things like that. Definitely makes it nice that I'm more planted now when I come to a stop. So yeah, I definitely noticed the 1-inch shorter shocks. 1-inch definitely made a big difference. I can't wait to get this thing out on the road and see what these shocks feel like out on the Michigan roads. As you guys know, if you're from Michigan, our roads here suck. We've got potholes. We've got literally probably the worst roads in the United States. So we're definitely going to put these Fox QS3 remote resi shocks to work and really test them out and see how good they really are. All right, guys. So as you can see, the rear backrest fits no problem. The front of the backrest slides in here between the shock spacer and your frame rail. And that fit no problem on both sides. And then in the back here, your docking hardware is accessible and not in the way of the reservoirs whatsoever. Definitely a clean fit, and you can see there's plenty of room to spare between the reservoir and the backrest. So if you guys run a backrest on your bike, just know that these remote resi shocks from Fox, these QS3 remote resi shocks, will work on your bike as well. So all right, guys, so one thing I noticed when I went to go take my magnetic docking cap off here, this covers up the where the backrest or tour pack mounts, and I went to go take it off and it is lodged between the reservoir and the docking hardware. So didn't really test that when I put the reservoirs on. So in order to test the tour pack, I have to loosen up this bolt here on the reservoir bracket and basically twist up the reservoir, pull that magnet off, and then I'll be able to, on each side, unfortunately, I have to do it on both sides, and then because I have the magnetic cover over here as well, and as you see, it's lodged in there. I cannot get the magnetic cover off, but then once I get the covers off, I'll be able to put the tour pack on and show you guys that the reservoir is clear because I was told that they clear. So I'm going to take this bolt out, twist the reservoir bracket up, pull the magnetic cap off, and put the tour pack on for you guys, just to show you that the tour pack does or does not fit. So stay tuned. And just like that, the tour pack fits no problem on the back of the bike with the remote reservoirs. As you can see, it's a nice tight fit, but it does not rub. You guys see the gap in there? So the tour pack bracket does not touch the remote reservoirs on either side, and this side here is tight as well, but they do not touch. It is a very tight fit, but it does in fact fit and does not rub, and it fits perfect, guys, as you can see right here. What do you guys think? Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on the new QS3 remote resi shocks from Fox. All right, guys, so I just got the saddlebags put back on the bike, and as you can see, the Fox QS3 remote resi shocks fit real nice and snug in there. I really like the way they look on the back of the bike here. What do you guys think? Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on the new Fox QS3 remote resi shocks. I know some of you are wondering, man, that looks close to the bag and the fender. Like, will the bag lid open? Well, check this out, guys. Opens with no issues whatsoever. I'll get another view back here just to show you guys that it does not hit. And same goes for the left side. Does not hit. So I will say it's a very snug fit. It's very close. But as you can see in the camera, the bag lids do not hit the remote resis. A very, very clean install. I definitely like the way they look on there. I can't wait to get out on this thing today and go take it for a test ride. So I decided to end the video here after the rear shock install, and I'm going to save the front fork cartridge install for another video. So stay tuned for part 2 of the Fox suspension install on my 2024 Road Glide. It will be coming next. We're going to take the front end apart. I got to take the fork legs over to Dave's Weedus Performance, and he is going to install the cartridge kit for me, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that and bring you guys along every step of the way to show you guys how to install front fork cartridges in your 2024 and up Road Glide or Street Glide, Harley-Davidson touring model, 23.5 CVOs, 2024 and 2025 Harley-Davidson touring models. So yeah, make sure you guys stay tuned for the next video. We will be installing the front suspension to go with the rear. All right, so I just wanted to point out some features on the QS3 shocks from Fox. Basically, there's a lot of adjustment here with these shocks. You can take your spanner wrench that they provide you with the kit, and you can turn this clockwise or counterclockwise, depending on if you want the spring rate stiffer or softer. You can turn this right here with this spanner wrench, and it makes it really easy to adjust your preload. Down here you have, I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but you have these lines with 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And in the instruction manual, it tells you for your weight, your combined rider and passenger weight, what level, if you will, you want to bring this preload adjuster down to. So basically, I have it set at 1 right now because I want it to be the softest as possible. Now, when I ride my passenger, I might crank it up to 2 because we're gonna have more weight over the rear shocks, and I definitely don't wanna bottom out the shocks. So they make it really nice to adjust the preload with this spanner wrench. If you follow the instructions in the manual, it tells you what level to run the shock at for what weight you have on the motorcycle. You have a rebound adjuster down here, so I have it on the softest setting as well. You can go in up and down in the middle, which would be like a 2, and then all the way to the right would be a 3. So this would be for your stiff, moderate, and soft suspension setting there. And then up here on your remote reservoirs, I put this remove before flight tag on both reservoirs, so don't mind that. But you can adjust these as well. I have them on level 1, again, the softest setting, 2, and then 3 would be the stiffest setting for the remote reservoirs as well. And Fox does a really good job at explaining how to adjust the suspension in the instruction manual when you get your shocks. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out. I kind of missed that earlier in the video when I was unboxing these shocks, but I just wanted to say that they do offer a lot of adjustability, and I cannot wait to take this thing out and experience these shocks out on the open road. See, basically in here it tells you you have your preload increments over here, and this is your preload ring, and you adjust that ring down to whatever increment you want to be at for your height and weight. And down here is the chart, combined rider weight, luggage weight. So if you're 230 pounds and you have 50 pounds of luggage weight, you want to adjust your preload to 5. That would be like your stiffest setting for these shocks. Just wanted to point that out and show you guys that they make it real easy to adjust these shocks to your height and weight. And then here's a little bit more information on adjusting the dampening of the suspension. This here is the adjustment on the reservoir, like I was saying earlier. So the position 1 would be soft, position 2 would be medium, and then position 3 would be firm. Once again, when you get your kit, they provide you with this instruction manual, and they explain how to adjust everything. And then there's the rebound adjustment on the bottom of the shock as well. So they explain everything in detail in the instructions for you to set these shocks up for your height and weight. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. If you liked the video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you smash that subscribe button. I've got a lot of content coming to the channel. If you guys don't know, I do live in Michigan, and we're just now starting to get some nice weather around here. When I say nice, I mean above 50 degrees and dry. It's been nothing but raining, snowing, sleeting, and just terrible weather here in Michigan ever since I got back from Daytona Bike Week. So I cannot wait to get out and put some miles on these bikes, and I cannot wait to bring some quality content to the channel. We've hit almost 60,000 subscribers. My next goal is 100,000 subscribers. So please share this video, share my channel with all your friends and family. If they're into motorcycles, if they're into Harleys, and they're looking for the best parts and reviews for their bike, make sure you guys send them my way and have them check out my channel. I greatly appreciate all your support on the channel. I wouldn't be able to do this stuff without you guys. So if you guys want to support the channel, you can buy some merch on my website at DOOWORKMotorsports.com. I have hats, t-shirts, hoodies, and a whole bunch of other stuff coming to the website, so stay tuned for that. I will be making an announcement probably in my next video on what's to come for the website and what's to come for the channel as well. So make sure you guys stay tuned. You're not going to miss it. But I'm going to hop on the bike and test out these new rear QS3 shocks from Fox. I got to get out there before it gets dark. It's already starting to drop. It's like 52 degrees out there, and the sun's going away fast. So I'm gonna get out there and do some riding, and I'll let you guys know in the next video when I do the front cartridge kit how the rears did, and I'll give you my honest opinion and review on those as well. So also make sure you guys follow me on Instagram at DOOWORK Motorsports. I tend to post on there a little bit more than I do on YouTube. Make sure you guys hit that notification bell as well to stay up to date with all my latest videos. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.